Namaste, angels. This is going to be the weekly reading for the period of today, Sunday the 4th, because it's already after midnight. It's 12:44 in the morning. And this reading will go through Saturday the 10th. It is the general reading. I'm going to say, although it's the general reading about these parties of three, because some of them may be general, some of them may be at work, affecting your raises, your advancements, your promotion, your elevation at work. Some of them may involve some sort of work relationship or relationship at your job, maybe a friendship or frenemy-ship. Somebody's not really your friend. Somebody's getting in your way or getting in the way of your progress and impeding your progress, whether you realize it or not. Some of them will be romantic, and I'm feeling particularly the parties of three involving earth and or fire, and maybe even more specifically involving Virgos and or Leos. Blowing up, complete blow-up-situation. And I'm beginning this week when I use the cards with the wheel, which represents the planet Jupiter, and Jupiter rules Sagittarius, so that's a fire sign too. Also, Leo is impacted by all the fixed signs are to me. So Leo, Scorpio, Aquarius, Taurus. So there's some more earth attached to the energy of the wheel. It's a very karmic energy. I'm feeling the wheel / tower. And I feel like they gave me the wheel to work with because the tower is scary to some people. And you're like, oh, is it going to be bad? And it's not necessarily going to be bad. It can be really, really good blow-up situation. Like something that has to happen. And maybe in a moment, it might involve some sort of conflict, disappointment. I don't even feel that it will, though, to be honest with you. Something that may flare up at work, have some sort of major shakeup at the office, and it results in some stuff coming out and, to your benefit, or in a relationship. Something is shown. I see for some, it involves, maybe there was a separation and somebody returns and they felt you shouldn't have, you weren't supposed to move on with your life. Like they're expecting you to still be sitting there. So that's like a shakeup, a shock to them. And they have to address their situation with you. So different things like that is what I'm feeling. Different parties of three being shaken up, definitely of the universe, definitely karmic. And maybe because Jupiter goes into retrograde this week on the 8th. That was why I initially felt that I was starting with the wheel. When I shuffled to it, I said, oh, the wheel, that's cool. Jupiter retrograde begins on the 8th. Mercury also enters shadow on the 8th. It approaches its retrograde beginning on the 8th. So I thought maybe that's what it was. But then I remembered this party of three thing. And the party of three thing has been coming to me since, I guess, around the 27th. I think that was like 2 or 3 days before the full moon, which was on the 1st of March. I saw like 4 o'clock in the afternoon, huge in the sky, already looking almost full with days to go before the actual full moon event. The moon huge in the sky. Sun shining. It was like 60 degrees in New York, really no reason necessarily for the moon to be the focus as opposed to the sun, but that's what it was. And I said, yep, soon these things that have been done in the dark will be illuminated. What's done in the dark always comes to light. And I feel for a lot of us, a lot of you, that is this week. Okay, so that said, putting my reputation on the line as I tend to do, I'm not afraid to give you what I expect to show up in the cards. Maybe because they haven't failed me and it always does show up. But this is what I'm feeling for this week. And when I picked up that wheel behind it, just so you know, is the 6 of air. So it's like I was saying, it's the universe. It's like a tower sort of thing. It's going to be abrupt. It's going to be a shock. But they didn't want to give me the tower to start with, because it wanted to make sure that you understand that this is positive as long as you've, been positive. And I think for the most part, we have, our karma's in the right place by now. Even those of us who maybe hadn't, long been or always been, certainly, we've been working on, delayering and healing our energy and, trying to do right and stay on path and all those things. And it's paying off. So sure enough, behind that wheel, also upright, is the Six of Air. Things are looking up. It's the end of a difficult situation. Some of us may even be taking a trip. So maybe that is involved as a result. Maybe that's what goes on at work, for example. You were up to be the one to go to some sort of convention or conference, seminar, something, and maybe they would have been blocked, and now you have that opportunity to take a trip. So like even at work, it can involve a trip, or you're going to look at a satellite office and meet with other people or something like that. I don't know why that's coming, so it may very well be somebody's actual case this week. All right, so moving on to the Christian calendar, nothing that I would particularly wish to go over with you guys. Some of you may be interested in the feast days that are occurring this week. Today is the feast day of St. Casimir. Wednesday the 7th, St. Perpetua and Felicity, martyrs, the two of them. St. John of God on the 8th. Friday, St. Francis of Rome, and that's that. On the Hebrew calendar, as I said last week, there is nothing until the 17th. Now, the 17th is going to be huge in general because it's the new moon. It is the feast day of St. Patrick, and it is the first day of the Hebrew month of Nisan, which is the first month of the year if you're counting like the traditional Hebrew calendar, like the ecclesiastical year. Otherwise, we begin counting from Rosh Hashanah, which was in September. So you would say that was the first month of the year. But we're counting from Nisan. Nisan begins on the 17th. So there may be other stuff on the 17th. That's just what I've been made aware of thus far. But again, nothing this week. So on that note, I'm going to go to the sky this week because there is stuff happening there. Beginning with today, Sunday, March 4th, March evenings offer an excellent chance to see the zodiacal light. From the northern hemisphere, late winter and early spring are great times to observe this elusive glow after sunset. It appears slightly fainter than the Milky Way, so you'll need a clear, moonless sky and an observing site located from the city. With the waning gibbous moon now exiting the early evening sky, this is the time to seek out the light. Excellent conditions continue through March 18th. Look for the cone-shaped glow, which has a broad base and points nearly straight up from the western horizon after the last vestiges of twilight have faded away. Neptune is in conjunction with the sun at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. The distant planet is hopelessly lost in the solar glare, but will return to view before dawn in April. Neptune, ruler of Pisces. Monday, March 5th. Although Mercury and Venus appeared closest to each other on Saturday evening, the two officially conjunct today. Mercury slides 1.4 degrees north of Venus at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time in this evening's twilight. Mercury stands to the upper right of its neighbor. So Venus and Mercury very close. Mercury to Venus's upper right. Tuesday, March 6th. If you head outside after darkness falls, look to the west. You'll see the stars of Taurus the Bull about halfway to the zenith. The V-shaped Hyades star cluster, which forms the bull's face, points straight toward the horizon. To the right of the Hyades lies the spectacular Pleiades star cluster, M45, and to the left are the glittering jewels that form Orion, the hunter's shape. Wednesday, March 7th. The waning gibbous moon passes 4 degrees north of Jupiter today, and the two make a pretty sight all morning. You won't have any problem identifying the planet because it's the brightest point of light in this part of the sky, glowing at a magnitude of -2.2. Jupiter remains conspicuous all week, however. The giant world rises shortly after 11 p.m. local time and climbs highest in the south as twilight commences. The giant world resides among the much dimmer stars of the constellation Libra. A telescope reveals the planet's 40-inch diameter disk. Tuesday, March 8th. I'm sorry, Thursday, March 8th. I need glasses or binoculars. A pair of the fine binocular objects shows up nicely on evenings this week. The open star clusters M46 and M47 reside about a degree apart in the northwestern corner of the constellation Puppis, the stern. The two lie 12 degrees east-northeast of the night sky's brightest star, Sirius. The western cluster M47 glows at 4th magnitude and appears as a fuzzy patch sprinkled with several pinpoint stars. 6th magnitude M46 shows up as a hazy collection of faint stars that it's hard to resolve under most conditions. Although it contains nearly twice as many stars as M47, M46 appears fainter and fuzzier because it lies some 3 times farther from the Earth. Friday, March 9th. This is the anniversary of Biggie's birthday, Biggie's death, rather. You guys know I remember birthdays and dates of people's passing. That is his. The last quarter moon occurs at 6:20 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can find the half-lit orb rising in the east shortly after 1 a.m. local time. It hangs out about 30 degrees above the southern horizon during the morning twilight. Look to the moon's lower left, and you can't help but see the ruddy glow of Mars. The red planet shines at a magnitude of 0.7 and stands out nicely against the background stars of the Serpent Bearer. Unfortunately, Mars's disk spans only 7 inches when viewed through a telescope and shows little, if any, detail. Saturday, March 10th, the last day for which this reading is, the moon's eastward motion relative to the background stars carries it into Sagittarius this morning, where it appears equidistant between Mars and Saturn. The trio rises by 3 a.m. local time and looks stunning in the south-southeast as twilight starts to paint the sky. Unlike Mars, magnitude 0.5 Saturn is worth observing through a telescope this week. The planet's disk measures 16 inches across, while the spectacular rings span 37 inches and tilt 26 degrees to our line of sight. And lastly, Sunday, March 11th. For most people in the United States and Canada, daylight savings time begins at 2 a.m. local time this morning. Set your clocks ahead 1 hour. The moon reaches apogee, the farthest point in its orbit around Earth, at 5:14 a.m., which is 5:05 Eastern Daylight Time. It then lies 251,455 miles from the Earth's center. And that was that. The astronomy, let's see, March 1st, we had the full moon in Virgo, 11 degrees Virgo. We continue to have Mars in Sagittarius, Jupiter inches retrograde on the 8th in Scorpio. Scorpio's ruler Pluto is in shadow, approaching its retrograde. That doesn't happen until April, I believe it was. Yes, April. But it's in shadow, approaching retrograde in Capricorn. Saturn, ruler of Capricorn, also approaching retrograde in Capricorn. Mercury entering shadow will go full-on retrograde March 22nd, I think it is, but it enters its shadow on the same day that Jupiter enters retrograde, which is March 8th, Thursday, March 8th. Mercury also in Pisces right now. Venus as well in Pisces. All right, I think that's it. One day I'm going to write this stuff down. I'm beginning with the dice with 29, spiritual partnership. Or maybe that you need to get a 29-year-old in your life. This is new information that has come to me recently. And it's 50-50. So it could go either way on this. And dirty movie. Spirit says, forget it. Party. And stay in bed. All right, so again, I'm beginning with the wheel. which represents for me the planet. I have the Knight of Air sticking up also. All right, let me finish this one. The wheel represents for me the planet Jupiter, which is the ruler of Sagittarius. So it involves Sagittarius, or can potentially. Also the fixed signs, Leo, Aquarius, Taurus, Scorpio. A time of positive change. A situation suddenly moves forward and fortune is on your side. They also wanted me to see the Knight of Air, which is definitely also about something it's sudden. So I was saying, like, this is like tower stuff. It's sudden. And all of a sudden a Knight of Air takes off running. They want to move forward. They, you know, and sometimes they're reckless about it because they just want to move forward so badly and get out of, like, you know, I guess what energy is stale for them. Especially like Geminis, we can't stand to be bored. Like we just can't sit still. Mercury and Gemini rules like the nervous system, and we are very anxious. Yeah. So that's the Knight of Air kind of energy. Like he just wants to take off running to handle something. And maybe because, again, it is sudden, all of a sudden something is moving, and this is why. It can be your energy. Maybe you are a direct air sign like myself. That doesn't have to be. This could be Mercury working in your favor. This could be Venus working in your favor. Maybe it has something to do with communication or electronics, right? Mercury is doing it. The Knight of Air is intelligent, decisive, idealistic, and tireless. Events that occur with great speed. Take time to carefully review your options so you can come up with creative solutions. Again, this Knight of Air could also be an Aquarius, for example. I said the wheel, for me, is associated to the sign of Aquarius as a fixed sign. Maybe it has to do with communication, electronic communication, something you get some information. Maybe something is shown in that way, right? Something that was done in the dark is revealed in that way. Somebody gets busted online, you know, or you go through your boyfriend or your girlfriend's phone or computer. They leave the password, they leave their thing logged in and it's open, or you receive a text or an email or phone call where somebody avails you of information. Again, even at the job, this can be at the job or something. You are availed somehow of information, very possibly via an electronic means, and you know, you can take it and run, basically, like a Knight of Air would. Also being shown to me now, Ace of Water. This can be the Scorpio. Okay, so, and it can involve, maybe it does involve a relationship for some. But an Ace of Water can have to do with work too. You know, the Ace of Water, yes, it's about love and emotion, but it's about a divine blessing, right? The universe is blessing you with something based on your karma. Your good karma is allowing you to be afforded, and you know, this beautiful blessing, something that's going to bring you tremendous joy. It can be at the job too, right? It can be the job that you wanted, the promotion you've been waiting for. You can make you very, very happy if you get this new beginning at work, and suddenly it happens. This can be the energy of Scorpio being associated with the wheel. Again, because not only because the wheel in the tarot for me is connected to the fixed signs, but also because the Jupiter, which rules Sagittarius, Mars, the ruler of Scorpio, one of the rulers of Scorpio, is in Sagittarius right now too. So it can have something to do with that. And where it is involving a relationship, yeah, maybe it's a relationship between air and water. And maybe specifically Gemini and Scorpio, or Aquarius and Scorpio. The wheel. Into the Six of Water, which can absolutely be about soulmate relationships, past life situations, friends, you know, reconciliation between, you know, friends, old friends, relationships, something involving children, something from your childhood that you're dealing with now, perhaps, or it's revisited you, maybe because of Jupiter, right? When planets go retrograde, it means they're going backward and they're revisiting something, and they force us to do the same. Memories from your history or childhood, issues regarding children, and romanticizing the past can all come up with the Six of Water. But again, it's a positive thing. It's good. So it's not like, you know, you're remembering some sort of traumatic event from childhood and it's going to bring you down or something like that. It's not that sort of thing. The wheel. And see, told you, boom, Two of Water. a relationship that continues to grow closer, forgiveness, and the resolution of a conflict. Something unfolds and allowing something to be resolved, and allowing for an ace of water and the wheel. Or the wheel allows for the ace of water and the 2 of water to happen, and the 6 of water. The ace, 2, and 6 together is definitely like the reconciliation of a karmic, as in of the universe, a soulmate relationship, you know, very possibly a divine union, or the beginning of one, a brand new one, something, a relationship sent to you by the heavens sort of thing. The wheel. Here's the ace of water again. On this note, I'm going to cut after this. Falling in love, or the resurgence of a relationship, spiritual growth and enhanced intuition, maybe even a new home. It can be a new home together. Right before I started this reading, I was actually hearing A House Is Not a Home by Luther Vandross. So that song is about a house. Look, the 2 of water. Boom, again. Okay, after cutting, look what I just came to after the ace of water. The song is about a home, not necessarily as it relates to a structure, a building, or it is. It's saying that a home is just a structure, a building. It's just an empty shell, a vessel without the people inside of it and the love inside of it. That's what makes it a home. He had the one line that was playing in my head was, I'm not meant to live alone. Turn this house into a home. The 2 of water can do that. But look what's behind it, also upright. So we have to watch this, like, and not blow our own blessing, that the universe is trying to give us something and we miss the opportunity. That's what the 4 of water can mean. Missing an opportunity, discontentment, or boredom. Open your eyes to the possibilities. Behind that, also upright, is the 5 of water. And I'm sorry, 5 of air, which you guys who are familiar with me and my reading style and what cards tend to mean to me, at least on face value, before I get all, you know, intricate and weird. It's not only conflict, but conflict in which we ourselves had a hand, even if it wasn't like intentional, it wasn't malicious, it wasn't, you know, it's like completely inadvertently, did I do that sort of thing? We were involved. An unwise choice, right? Learn what you can from this situation and review everyone's motives. So again, this can involve one of these parties of 3, somebody else getting in your business, getting in your way, whether it's, you know, in your general life, your business life, your personal life, your romantic life, whatever it is. Watch, you know, be aware that other people aren't always your friends. I posted something on Facebook today about coworkers, as a matter of fact. And it said, like, your coworkers are not your friends. You know, do your work, get your money, and go home, basically. Like, stop trying to be, you know, love up to these people at work that don't really care about you. They're your competition, and not always even healthy competition, often very toxic competition. Right? So they would bring you down. So watch out for that, because what's available for you is, you know, what you've been asking for. Dreams come true, prayers answered, wishes granted. You have the opportunity to have this. Behind this, upside down, is the 5 of earth. So I don't have to show you guys this one. This one was where the lack was. The lack is over. Behind that, in the same direction, the 3 of air. Great sadness. Take time to heal. There's a need to forgive yourself and others. So it's like, this is over, right? That had been the energy that had maybe led to lack. Maybe this is a relationship that broke up, or it was disappointment. It was hurt. It was betrayal. It was backstabbing. And that caused somebody to have fear, maybe from your childhood, you know, fear of abandonment, trust issues, or feeling actual lack in a financial sense, struggling, having difficulties with money. But now all of a sudden this comes, prayers being answered, wishes being granted, dreams coming true. So long as you don't, you know, like throw a monkey wrench in your own shit or allow somebody else to, you know. Yeah, that was upright. Because that could cause you to miss, you know, a really beautiful opportunity. And what might that beautiful opportunity be? The 2 of water. And this can be connected to 29. It can be a spiritual partnership, whether it is romantic or a business partnership, or, you know, a home situation, you and a roommate, you and a family member partnering in some way, and maybe there have been some conflict and it can come to resolution now. All right. So the overall energy is the 10 of fire, but I wanted to show you how it ended up in my hand with that 9 of water sticking up, and the 10 of fire would indicate that it's the end of, you know, some of the troubles and difficulties and barriers, you know, obstacles that you've been having to face. It's the end of those. The stress, the weight that's been on your shoulders, is the end of that, because something happens, you know, for your benefit, something that you've been asking for, some prayer is answered, and it makes things better for you. After I do these collective readings, I just want to announce now, it's sort of random, but I want to announce now that I have a bunch of you guys' personal ones that I'm going to be working on. My mother was, she had a major surgery in January, and she had been, you know, recuperating in a rehabilitation facility, and that her time was ended there. You know, she was well enough to go home, but I had to like make arrangements and stuff, and so I've been really busy with that. And you know, although I'm within the parameters for the most part of the time that I usually take to do people's readings, it's like within the week or whatever. I just want to make an announcement that, because normally I would have posted them before I posted the general. And last week, sort of similarly, I posted the general first. I said, let's, to be fair, and not have people have to wait for the collective readings, let me do those first. And, you know, for a change, I'll do the personal readings after those. And so, you know, that's when all my stuff began. And here we are. So after these, I'm going to be doing those. All right, masculine. Wow. Boom. This is the tower I've been talking about. A significant life event, a powerful revelation that leads to change. It's time to spread your wings. So it's okay for the universe to show us this now, because I've already been talking about it. I've already warned you guys, like, not to worry about this. So hopefully you're not. And you're going to expect this tower to be a good shakeup in your life. It'll be like you're watching a movie. Something starts to go down at work. You'll be like, oh, girl, this is it. This is what the Queen of Swords told us to wait for. And you just sit back and watch it unfold and wait for yourself to benefit, you know. Or as information's coming to you, maybe again via electronic means or something, about a friend, a relation, or whatever, you know, just sit back and you know, be receptive and receive it. And then you know how to proceed after that accordingly. Surrounding. The Knight of Earth, which could be that Virgo. I told you. The Knight of Earth is loyal, dedicated, honorable, and kind. Time to buckle down and get things done. Honor your commitments. You have a guardian angel. This Knight of Earth can also, of course, be a Capricorn or a Taurus or anybody likened to these traits or attributes. It can be about also something that's been coming to you. It's like a long time coming, and you've had to exercise some real patience, and now it's finally happened. But it may be, you know, like, you ever heard of like the hurry up and like then it gets there and it's like, oh, wait, I wasn't ready. Like that sort of thing. There's a saying that I started to have it and I lost it. But in any case, like, you know, we've been patient and, oh, when is it going to happen? When is it going to come? And now finally it's here and it's like, boom, you know, so with the tower. Tower can also, again, involve an actual structure, an actual building, an actual home or something. So this can be connected to the Knight of Earth in a sense that the Knight of Earth can be about material things or financial matters. Somebody may be wanting to purchase a home, and maybe it's been a long time coming. Maybe you've been waiting for your, you know, am I going to get the loan? Am I going to get the mortgage in order to buy the home? And I'm trying to be patient. I'm trying to wait, but they're not calling. I don't know what's going on. And then boom, you got the house. You know, they accepted your offer. You were approved for the mortgage or whatever. Okay, with this. At the root. It's the Queen of Air, who's independent, experienced, realistic, and witty, objective decision-making, and clearing away all that no longer serves you. Seeing the humor in a situation, too. That humor can involve seeing the light in the situation, getting some clarity, which could definitely be having to do with the Queen of Air, and maybe particularly this week while she's all snuggled up to Mercury, right? both of them in Pisces, but we just heard from the astronomy as opposed to the astrology that Mercury and Venus are conjunct this week too. And that can be what's being reflected here too with the Knight of Earth and the Queen of Air, because Mercury rules Virgo in addition to Gemini, for example. But Venus also rules Taurus in addition to Gemini and Libra. So it can be sort of something like that. For the feminine, the Queen of Earth, who is thoughtful, creative, warm, and sensible. Make time for those around you. Take a sensible approach and deal with challenges in a kind and understanding manner. The Queen of Earth is also a Virgo, Capricorn, or Taurus, or somebody likened to those traits or attributes, or who is impactful upon your life, maybe with specific regard to the material and or financial. And it might require a decision on your part be made. The Two of Air is sort of like non-action. We're stuck. We're stagnant. We're hoping that if we don't open our mail, that the whatever's inside will resolve itself. The bill will pay itself or whatever it is. That's not really how it works, though. Being unable or unwilling to make a decision, a stalemate, and pretending there's no problem. So we got to figure something out there. And maybe that's because here we're at war with ourselves. We're conflicted over something. Maybe we're thinking about something we did that we feel like we're realizing, uh-oh, did I do that? Or I shouldn't have done that. Maybe I shouldn't have said that. That sort of thing. An unwise choice. Learn what you can from this situation. Review everyone's motives, including your own. Was it my ego? Was it my pride? Was I just being a dick? Why did I do this? Was I being gullible? Was I being silly? Was I being ridiculous? Was I being unfair to myself? Unfair to someone else? Like all those things. Crowning. Here's that Four of Water too. The opportunity that we can miss if we blink. Missing an opportunity, discontentment or boredom. Open your eyes to the possibilities. I said if we blink, you miss it. At the root, this is what it involves. The Two of Water is also back. A relationship that continues to grow closer. Forgiveness and the positive resolution of a conflict. And at the heart of the matter, another two. It's the High Priestess. Listen to your intuition. I meant to tell you this at the beginning of the reading too. I forgot, but I was feeling this also. Have patience and consider carefully what you want before acting. The High Priestess, however, is somebody who often receives this information, like she has unknowns. She has that moon kind of energy, and then she receives information from, telepathically maybe. She's connected to the universe. She's super, super intuitive. She receives that information, and she doesn't act yet. She's also an observer, and let me take in more information. Let me look around and see how I'm going to proceed. Maybe because she's watching other people's behaviors too. I don't know. I'm not ready to make my decision yet. Let me keep an eye on this. Let me watch this pot, to see if it's going to overboil before I decide to turn it off or not. That sort of thing. The High Priestess for me is also a Gemini. Okay, it's here crossing the Queen of Air. Also a Gemini, but possibly a water sign as well, and can be representing again that whole aspect of air and water converging upon each other, which is certainly reflected by Mercury in Pisces and or Venus in Pisces. I'm going to further clarify these with my animal tarot. Begin with the Princess of Autumn, which definitely represents the planet, the sign of Virgo for me, being the princess or the page is the more youthful of the earth element. Cheerful, reliable, intelligent, and mischievous is the Princess of Autumn. A wonderful opportunity related to your work or education, such as a promotion or a scholarship, is coming your way. Seize the chance to learn something exciting or to start a new, more rewarding and uplifting career or relationship. I'm going to add. Here's our second Knight of Winter, Knight of Air, Knight of Swords. Get ready for progress to speed up. This situation requires you to choose logic and intellect over emotion and to make your decisions quickly. The Prince of Winter is decisive, focused, driven, and impulsive. He's also a Gemini, Aquarius, or Libra, or somebody likened to those traits or attributes. Quite possibly, although it's the Knight. Now in the tarot, tarot practitioners will attach the Knight of Air to the sign of Gemini. I attach the Page because it's the more youthful. But this could definitely be a Gemini and a Virgo, both ruled by Mercury. That can be what this is about, for example. Princess of Autumn. And in the Five of Autumn, focusing upon the negative or worrying about money or your career can block your progress. Because your trust and faith are a low point right now, it's not the best time for you to start your own business or to become self-employed. This, as it relates to love and relationships for me, again, is also about like trust issues, particularly fear of abandonment, fear of, fear issues. Worrying about lack, they're going to be there for me. My last relationship, I didn't have, this support or that support or whatever. It lacked this. And I'm worried about that repeating itself. And so I'm going to end up blocking my blessing for this new relationship, because I'm so consumed with the old one, that sort of thing. That may be what you have to let go of as it relates to the Six of Water, for example. Like that's something from your childhood maybe, or from a younger time, a previous relationship onto what you're holding. And then maybe, boom, you have some sort of revelation, like the Tower can be a revelation, and you realize I got to let this go, and you do, and that opens the flow for this abundance to come in, and can lead you, from the Tower right here to the Two of Water. Or here, just these two opposite one another. This is being like paranoid maybe about finances and the material. And here's the Princess of Autumn saying, I bring news of good fortune in that area. Like, stop this. Princess of Autumn. And the Queen of Summer, who's compassionate, loving, giving, and psychic. She's also a Scorpio, as the tarot goes. The Queen is the fixed sign. But she can be a Cancer or a Pisces or, not a water sign at all, just somebody likened to those traits or attributes. This is a time of deep emotions and heightened intuition that you can trust completely. Be mindful that you don't ignore your own needs while caring for others. So don't become that person who is such a people pleaser, that they're making life better for everybody else. So they forget that they have to take care of themselves. Like, you can't really take care of other people in the way that you want or as best as you would and you would have yourself do if you don't care for yourself. You really, really can't. Princess of Autumn. I'll go one more, and it's the Ten of Winter. So the end of the difficulties, as I've been saying. It's the end of a career path, a project, or a relationship, and that can bring feelings of mixed joy and sadness, relief and disappointment. Put aside your fears about these changes and trust that a brighter future awaits. So this is really what is important to do right now. Is, like I said, when that abrupt thing happens, maybe it will involve some disappointment or conflict, but please be positive and keep your thoughts positive. Remember this reading that I said that ultimately that situation is resulting in a blessing for you. Something good and fortunate, and it's not going to be slow coming this time. It is abrupt. It is Tower. And I guess particularly for the masculine, it's abrupt, it's Tower. And the last card I had come to, I don't remember if I mentioned it or not. It was the Princess of Autumn again, but the overall energy is the Queen of Autumn. So as the fixed signs go, this would be a Taurus, but it can also be a Capricorn, or again, anybody likened to those traits or attributes. Thoughtful, caring, creative, and ingenious is the Queen of Autumn. You will be given advice that's both practical and creative, and it should be followed precisely. Focus only upon the positive in every situation or person. The Queen of Autumn can also be Venus coming through. Venus is the ruler of Taurus. Oh, we have the Queen of Autumn here too. The Queen of Earth also crowns the feminine in the spread. And we have three twos here too. I don't know if you guys noticed that. It's like 11, 11, 11, or 6 equals love, maybe. 6 equals balance. 6 equals equality, fairness, justice, which is also Venus. And Venus. We have Venus mirroring Venus here too. We got the Queen of Air mirroring the Queen of Earth. Atop the Tower. It's the star. I told you. Dreams coming true. Prayers being answered. Wishes being granted. Abruptly as fuck. Okay? Tower style. And maybe via a communication, electronic communication. The star represents for me the planet Uranus in the sign of Aquarius. And electronic communication is attached to Aquarius for me as well. All communication is associated to air signs, and specifically of those air signs, for Aquarius, I connected to texts and emails and online dating, online meeting situations and things like that. You are about to take a big leap forward with your life. Worry will be replaced by optimism, fear with hope. And joy is coming home to roost. Again, the star represents the sign of Aquarius. The Tower can often be seen as Scorpio energy too. This can be another air and water, and maybe again specifically, as I mentioned with something else, Aquarius and Scorpio. Atop the Knight of Earth is the King of Winter, who's intelligent, impartial, respected, and unemotional. The King of Winter is a Gemini, Aquarius, Libra, somebody likened to those traits or attributes, or maybe Mercury, ruler of Gemini and Virgo. At this time, it's very important that you communicate clearly. Be objective and unemotional, and act as professionally as possible. If you need advice, seek out the most experienced expert that you can find. So you may be the one sending out the electronic communication. Maybe it is an email at work that you send out that, causes something to be revealed. Maybe before you send it or before you act, especially if it has to do with work and you want to be professional, as this card states here, and you want to ask an expert if you need be. Maybe you talk to somebody in a supervisory capacity, or somebody that you trust. Maybe you call your mom or your dad, or your sister that's a lawyer, or your brother-in-law that's an accountant or something, and you ask them how to proceed before you go forward. Could be something like that too. For some, I just heard this can also involve like your taxes, your tax return or whatever. Maybe this particular coupling right here, involving money and sort of intelligence, right? This could be an accountant, like preparing your return for you or something. And you're getting that maybe in time to maybe put money down on a home, or, pay your first and last month's rent on a new rental or something for yourself, and that's your prayer being answered. The money came through in time for you to do what you needed to do. Boom again. It's our second wheel of fortune. It sits here atop the Queen of Air. So again, it may be attached most specifically to the sign of Aquarius. Aquarius is the fixed sign and would be in the tarot the Queen of Air as it relates to this. And also connected for me, the wheel is connected to the fixed signs, and Aquarius would be one. Aquarius, Scorpio, Leo, Taurus. Expect a sudden positive change in your life, masculine. This Tower is your dreams being answered, your wishes being granted, your dreams coming true. And it's coming through abruptly and very much of the universe, and very much, probably because of Jupiter. And maybe in connection to Jupiter's retrograde specifically, or the fact that Jupiter is in Scorpio. Maybe that's where the Scorpio energy is coming from too. But you can expect a positive change, and it may involve a Queen of Air, whether she's an Aquarius or not. Could be a Gemini, a Libra, also associated with this, or somebody, you know, very much likened to of those traits or attributes. Or this can be reflective of cutting out the lack in your life. The Queen of Air comes through to cut out lack and to replace it with, you know, abundance. Feminine. Let's see what we got. Atop the Queen of Earth is the Prince of Summer. Very nice. Romantic, flirtations, introspective, enchanting. Frog. This is about kissing the frog. A deeply emotional and probably romantic experience will sweep you off your feet. Things can move very quickly to such a whirlwind encounters. Move very quickly during, rather, such whirlwind encounters. So stay balanced and make decisions with both your heart and your intellect. The Prince of Summer is a Pisces, Scorpio, Cancer, or somebody just being really super romantic and making some sort of proposal. Maybe asking you out on a date. Maybe an actual marriage proposal connected to the Queen of Earth. This could be Venus in her capacity as a nurturer and, you know, a lover and not necessarily a fighter, as she could be in her other capacity over here where she cuts people off. This could, you know, this could be abundance in the area of romance, or it can be money too. It can be, you know, finances and stuff too. It's something that's going to bring you joy being attached to the Prince of Summer. But even as the card states, probably romantic, okay? Atop the Two of Air, and the decision you got to make, maybe about a relationship. Maybe something having to do with your children, too. Maybe about a past situation and or past life situation, and you got to make a... The love and care of children could become an important part of your life, or people from your childhood may return to it. Old memories can be healed, or possibly old childhood dreams are ready to be revived. This can also be a decision about, you know, going forward and starting a family, possibly. Like, do I? Especially sitting here under the Queen of Earth, who's that nurturer, right? Like the Empress, a mother figure, a family woman, and attached to something joyous, and a Prince of Summer. This could be, you know, let's consider, do you want to decide whether or not to have a child with me or something like that too for some of us. Maybe we should work on getting pregnant this week, that sort of thing. Atop the Five of Air is the Princess of Winter. So this can be a Gemini too, putting their foot in their mouth or being worried about it, overthinking everything, any and everything, as we tend to do. Or another air sign, a Libra, an Aquarius, or anybody who is like that. Or, you know, likened to those traits or attributes, or maybe is being, you know, particularly pushed and twisted and messed with in this area because of Mercury, you know, this week maybe. This is an intellectual challenge that calls upon your ability to think of a matching solution. If helpful information is put to you bluntly, accept the message without being bothered by the messenger. So if somebody talks to you air sign style or Gemini style and just drops a bomb, like listen to the message before getting annoyed about how they say it or what they said. Because we tend to just, yeah, drop a truth bomb and without being careful about how we say things. But I think this is more somebody behaving like a Gemini or other air sign, and again, overthinking, having some internal conflict with themselves, and like mental anguish, mental frustration, unnecessary, because look what all this, you know, the blessings that are coming your way. Crowning the union atop this Four of Water is the Three of Autumn. So as I said in the beginning, before I laid any cards, it could very well have to do with a party of three. I stand by that, whether it is general or romantic. I said both of those, and I stand by that as well. And this would reflect it, and this could attach, sitting here atop the Four of Water, it can be about, again, yeah, we're worried about this. We end up missing an opportunity. Like you blink, you missed it because you allowed someone to take it from you maybe. If it's something at work, you allowed something else to get in your way. You're worried about these 3 cups and you missed the fact that you got this one. You're winning already. Okay, hashtag winning and worried about being a loser here. Look, this winning ribbon. This is a winner. Your most satisfying and profitable career or relationship comes from following your passions, listening to your heart, and doing what brings you joy. Your life purpose is best fulfilled by allowing your talents and true self to shine forth out into the world. The 3 of Autumn is very much like the card Judgment in the tarot for me, which is also connected to Scorpio for me and the planet Pluto. And it can be about, in the most general sense, not making sure to not be judgmental, or certainly not overly judgmental of yourself or others. But as it relates to work, that the boss has a watchful eye on you and is wanting to give you some sort of raise or promotion or something. And you got to keep up the good work. You cannot slack off now. You cannot get, melancholy and discontent and, drop what you're doing. You got to stay on top of your game. As it relates to relationships, romantic and otherwise, is about coming to a crossroads and needing to address, like not being half-assed and too of air and of non-action, but, being about your business and like, we're here now. What are we going to do? If anything, maybe we part ways, like Queen of Air style. And maybe that's to everybody's benefit. That pays off. Parting ways. It can go either way. Again, it can also be reflective of party of 3 and perhaps specifically involving a Virgo. At the root here, atop the 2 of Water is Judgment. Boom! How you like me now? Renewal is Judgment in the traditional tarot. The card that I said is very much likened to the 3 of Autumn or 3 of Earth for me. It's time to get clarity about your life purpose and to make changes so that you're on the path most divinely suited for you. Forgive what has been without judgment and fearlessly embrace what's to come. This is about a relationship. This is 1111. A relationship, a partnership between 2 people only. So ridding yourself of this party of 3, cutting that 3rd person off, Queen of Air style. Remembering to nurture you too, and to make decisions based on what's going to bring you joy, like a Prince of Summer would. That's what this is. And that Prince of Summer, again, may very well be a Scorpio in your life. Get one. But here, at the heart of the matter, atop the High Priestess is that 5 of Autumn. So being aware of this, watch out for it and don't let this be you. Focusing upon the negative or worrying about money or your career or lack maybe in a previous relationship, right? 6 of Summer, something from your childhood or earlier relationship, your past. Worrying about that can block your progress because your trust and faith are at a low point right now. It's not the best time to start your own business or to become self-employed, or maybe for you to initiate something, with a relationship, because you might manifest one that is lacking, because that's the energy you're putting out. So use your intuition instead, and your logical mind too, especially after having seen this video. What can I take with it, take from it and apply to my life? And don't let this be you, basically, because everything else is awesome. I also, earlier in the week, I had received a message from the universe that I needed to incorporate a particular deck into the general reading. I couldn't remember for the life of me what that deck was. And I thought, maybe if I open the drawer where I have like a gazillion decks of cards. I got so many cards. If I open a drawer, maybe I'll remember which one. I did not, but I was like honed in on my butterfly deck. And so I elected to use that. So I'm going to give you guys some advice from that too, beginning with dietary change. And this doesn't have to be about food, you know, it's about what you ingest, what you're willing to tolerate, what you're willing to take in, expose yourself to. And opening to welcoming the new. So maybe getting rid of something that was funky, that was toxic for you, and replacing it with something far better. Or allowing the universe to replace it with something far better. Dietary change. Because it's the end of an era. Let that old shit go. And let's move on to the new one. End of an era. That's like the death card. And finances. So it's the end of the difficulty with all the finances. Because now we got 2 Wheel of Fortunes. We got 2 Queen of Pentacles here. We got the Star. We got the 3 of Autumn. We got Judgment. So the end of the era as it relates to finances is the end to financial difficulty. Finances and spiritual growth. So where finances don't necessarily relate to finances, and it's about our own self-worth and stuff, that can be how it's attached to spiritual growth. I'm going to cut on that note. Body changes. So again, this can be about pregnancy for some of us. It can be about, yeah, we actually are on some sort of diet as it relates to food, and we're going through changes with that. And it can be metaphorical too. Body changes, not unlike what's pictured here, right? Having gone into something like a caterpillar and coming out a butterfly. It's about metamorphosis. It is death and rebirth. It's the energy of Scorpio. And the overall energy is end of an era. Masculine, further to you, courage. Okay, this is like the strength card, the energy of Leo. What I say in the beginning, Leo, Virgo, coming to a head this week. You got the courage, you got the strength of Leo. So that's a positive thing from Leo. Again, Leo attached to the wheel for me as a fixed sign. Feminine, emotions. Isn't that clear, right? But good ones, I think. Not those negative emotions. We can avoid it if we feel those coming up. We don't have to take on negative emotions. This can be the good ones. Love, happiness. Masculine, 4 of Earth. Being too frivolous or too cautious with money or your love and affection and emotions. Okay? So you think about what applies to you. Good business decisions can also be associated with this card, and that can be, I said something about here, maybe contacting an accountant with regard to some financial issue, perhaps your taxes and or home purchase, you know, maybe going over your budget, what can you afford, because your dreams are coming true. So you could be making good business decisions here. Also, giving to less fortunate. If you do come into some money, it is good to always, you know, you definitely pay yourself first. When you come into any money at all, even when you get your paycheck every week, whatever, bi-weekly, you pay yourself first by setting some money aside for you or making even like a small deposit to a savings or something like that. But try to figure out, you know, where and when you can be charitable in your life as well. So if you come into something, you may want to share some in some way. And I'm not saying, you know, give away, you know, your most prized possessions or anything like that. I'm not trying to get you to do that. But how the universe works is about, you know, just constant ebb and flow between beings. And, you know, I help to make you more abundant, and you pay forward, help to make the next person more abundant, and so on and so on. And then it comes back around. Feminine, 3 of Fire. Again, possibly a party of 3 involving a Leo or other fire sign, or just about our abundance. Because remember, we got the Queen of Earth twice over here too. Abundance. Things look very good. Have patience at this time and make long-term plans as opposed to being worried. And masculine, the Empress, representing the planet Venus, and the signs again of Taurus, Libra, Gemini. Time to hop into action. Use your natural creativity to bring forth prosperity and success in your life. The Empress is a nurturer. She's all about new beginnings, fresh start, and taking a chance on yourself and on the universe, and having some faith and following your guidance, and, you know, believing that you're deserving of it. And again, you know, nurturing you, giving some love to you, believing that you deserve it, and going after what's being bestowed upon you by the universe. This is blessings from Venus, you know, toward a new beginning for you, or a creative burst, a combination of those. You can pursue some new lucrative career possibly, or something for yourself that is your passion, because your creative juices are flowing thanks to Venus and your cooperation in nurturing yourself and nurturing your passions. All of that from this. So let's do that, guys. And lastly, feminine. 7 of spring. Be assertive, believe in yourself, and don't let anyone take away your personal power. Trust that your inner guidance is true and follow it completely. That means this high priestess in here, this inner high priestess, trust her. This is like a distrust and disappointment, waiting for something to go bad. Don't do this. Trust her, follow your intuition, and have an awesome week, because it's set up for you too. Namaste, angels.
My feet won't touch the ground.